Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Crushing Strongholds. This is a podcast where we turn pain into power, trauma into triumph, and a place where we get to expose the lies of the enemy. And how do we do that? We do that through testimony. We do that through testimony of faith and overcoming obstacles. We like to dismantle and crush strongholds, and that's what this podcast is about. We also get to share the Word of God and the love of Jesus Christ. And today I'm super excited. I have a newfound friend. I just love her. She's amazing. I've only got to know her a short while, and I can just see this friendship blossoming. I'm so excited that I had a chance to meet her. And she's going to come on and tell us a little bit about herself. And her name is Wanda Dipaolo. I hope I said that correctly. And just a really sweet, sweet lady. And she is a author, and she's a digital creator, and she does online business, and she helps other people to get online and earn income online. She's also a Christian, and today she's got a story to share with us today and how she crushed a stronghold of her own. So I'm going to bring her on and have her say hello. So welcome in, Wanda. I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor.
Would you like to explain a little bit more to our listeners, like some of what you do with your business?
Well, I'm a digital creator, and we have a personal development app that helps just the average person keep track of their habits with a daily quote, a vision board, a task, a habit tracker, or a protein tracker, and much, much more. And I'm really excited about it because it has transformed my life. It's something that you could use each and every day to keep track of your progress. And you're not in competition with anybody, you're in competition with yourself. You
Mm,
just keep, it's a way for you to be accountable. So you have to be honest because if you're not honest, you're lying to yourself on there. So, it's really important. And what I share to the world I use, I really believe in. I have a very a community that's very supportive,
mm,
non-gentle, non-judgmental, that accepts you right where you're at. So I love that. And I have another path that's a health path, which is a home blood test where you do it at home when you prick your finger and you get it back in 20 days and it tells you what's going on inside your body. So I'm really excited about that because I can help so many people help themselves. Um, Finally, I've found a safe community,
mm.
somewhere where I belong, where I learn and I grow each and every day, principle-centered leadership. And the Holy Spirit is working there. He's
Mhm.
working through the morning mastermind call that I share every day. And I love to invite my listeners to. We learn skills from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, The Laws of Success. But we open up the lines to all the listeners around the world. And that's where we come together in harmony and cooperation for the better of all. And people step out and they share from their heart. And I love that because we're learning so much from each other. And,
That's
you
really
know,
awesome.
yeah, it's really good. And today I had an aha moment how God planted that seed years ago. And today on that call, he like, boom, he like whacked me and everything that he's put me through, everything that I learned, it's been all for this bigger purpose,
Mhm.
for this business that has come to me in the palm of my hand with these people come from the universe that I never imagined in a million years. And I always pray his will, not mine.
Mm. That's
And
really
it
awesome.
it was just really powerful. And then he, of course, today Paul played his song and it made me cry because it's everything we stand for.
Mm,
Integrity, honesty,
mm,
be yourself. I don't know. it was just so powerful that God is working through everybody.
Hmm.
He is. He's working through all of us. Some of us use our gifts, some of us don't. But we still love them. And, anybody can pick up their cross at any time.
Amen to that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's I love that you said that. I also like that you're talking about having integrity and learning that you are involved in a community where like you mentioned before we started recording that you feel like they're actually family, and that's so important when you're developing and growing even in your business. It makes it easier, I think, when you feel like the community is a family-based community and not just always just the rind and grind kind of community where you just work, 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 and there's no interpersonal reaction. And I find that people, there's some people that are just kind of stale and stagnant in that area. And then there's just some people you just want to get to know them because they just are electric. And I love people that do that. I love communities like that. I seen on your social media posts on Facebook that you have that every morning, and that's Monday through Friday, I believe. I think it's 9 o'clock Eastern. Is
9
that
a.m. Yeah,
9 a.m.?
9 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, I definitely am going to check that out. I think it sounds like something I definitely would be interested in myself. And how exciting, for you to have created an app that does all of that. I'm excited to check that out as well. And also, you're an author. You wrote a book called Blooming Within. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I did. I wrote the book Blooming Within, and it was just a journey of personal development.
Mm,
Just about the journey of personal development. And the app, I didn't make the app myself. Paul Hutchins, he's the
oh, gotcha.
developer of the app. I'm just an affiliate, but I love it because I make 80% commission, and there's no place out there online that makes 80% commission. So that's a great bonus, and I'm honored for that. But yeah, I just wrote that book in the intention of just showing people that it's possible.
Hmm.
It's possible for me, it's possible for them. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. And
Yeah, kind of
have to
like what you said with your app, and if you don't do it honestly, you deceive yourself. And I
yeah.
did the 75 hard challenge. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And I'm not, there's a few days where I wanted to lie and say I did it, but I was like,
Right.
no, I got to get
No,
up and I've got to do this because I'm only cheating myself too. It's not only that, yeah, I know no one else other than God knows that I'm being dishonest, but I'm cheating my own self. And, if I really want to succeed, I have to be honest about it. So
exactly.
I ended up starting over because I didn't complete it. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to lie and say I did. And I
Right.
started over like 6 times on that challenge, by the way, but I got through most of it. Like I got like 40 days in, and I got pretty far a couple of times, but it was a really hard challenge to do. I didn't think it would be, and it was really hard. But I went from like being a couch potato and just sitting at home. I take care of my grandma, so she sleeps a lot. So I just kind of got lazy. And I was like, I got to find stuff to do. I can't just sit around here and sit on the couch and eat potato chips all day and
Right.
wallow and not being able to do anything. There's so many things I can still do even from home. And my daughter said, let's do the 75. And I was like, I really don't think I can do that, but okay.
Well,
And
start with 30 days next time. And the
yeah,
great thing about our app is when you do something, right? When you complete something, it gets confetti, goes
oh
ding and it
yeah,
gets confetti. So it excites me because I'm completing things, you
oh
know.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
good.
and every day when you do it, you get better and better every day. It's like riding a bicycle. So I
Yeah.
love that. It keeps me focused, keeps me on track,
Mhm.
and really helped me.
I'm really curious too about the blood test. I'm
Oh,
actually curious about doing that because um,
yeah.
like you said, especially like, as you get older, you start going through premenopause and menopause and all of that stuff. And you're kind of like, I read about stuff all the time, like high cortisone and all of these different things or cortisol, I mean. And I'm like, do I have that or don't I have that? And I'm moody this day and I'm happy this day. Like, what is going on with my body? And I honestly do think that it's a good idea to find out because when you look in the mirror, you can't see what's all going on inside of you.
That's right.
So I love that you said that you need to kind of figure out what's happening on the inside so that you can take care of it, not just avoid it because you can't see it. So I think that's really
Right.
interesting that they have that. Um, so I've heard of something similar, but I'm not sure. But what you said sounds like something I'd be really interested in because you just send it in, right? You just take a blood test and
Yeah.
send it in.
Yes, I have to share it with you. I tell people you have to sit down with me a 30-minute consultation because I want you to get the full picture and it's personal. So I love that because you can see what's wrong with you. And when I seen my test, it was zero. My omega-3s and my omega-6s, zero, 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 zero protected. And, that scared me. I said, whoa, what's going on? And so they gave me a solution. So I was happy because I had that solution that day. And then I made some changes, and since then, I feel like I'm 21 with better judgment.
Good.
You know?
They always say if you could go back to your younger self, what would you do? Well, take care
Yeah,
of it. Take care of
yeah,
myself a
take
little
care of
better.
it. Absolutely,
I think that's one
absolutely,
thing I tell people is like if I could go back to my younger self, I would take better care of myself.
absolutely.
I kind of didn't do that as well as I should have, and I should have been more conscientious of my own health and my own body's needs. And now that we're getting older, and I've had like 21 major surgeries. I've almost died 4 times. I've had a lot of medical issues. And I'm like, every time I wake up off the operating table, I think, Lord, what do you still keep got me here for? But he's got me here for a reason.
All right.
So yeah, it's good to know. I used to go get my blood checked every year to find out, all of my levels, my vitamin D, my even just by my vitamins make a difference. Because if you're lacking vitamin D, you're lacking. And so it's important to know where you're at. So I'm really curious to find out. So yeah, I'll have to get that from you.
Yeah,
But
the crazy thing though, I just
mhm,
want to share this thing. The crazy thing is I took taking vitamins my whole life. Do you know what? If your cells, if you're unbalanced, your cells aren't reaching,
yeah,
your body the right way. So it's so important to know that it doesn't matter if you're taking supplements, because if your body's unbalanced, it's not reaching,
right.
you know, it's not reaching your cells like it's supposed to. So
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that too, because vitamins, I know, well, with one of my surgeries, I know I don't absorb them the right way. I actually need a liquid form, not a pill form, because it doesn't break down enough in my body for me to even get the nutrients from it. And you don't want to give yourself too much or not give yourself enough. It's really a good idea to find out what your levels are. I really think it's an important factor so that way you know how to balance yourself out. It's a balancing, and you feel so much better when you're leveled out too. You don't feel like you're all these highs and lows and can't sleep and hungry all the time, or have you want to eat in the middle of the night, or whatever it
right.
is that you're going through are usually symptoms of something being off in your body. Because our bodies aren't normally meant to be that way. God didn't design us that way. So I think it's really cool. I'm excited to find out about that. But on this podcast, with Crushing Strongholds, you and I have some similarities with our moms, and I love that we got to share that before we started recording. But I would like for you to share with our listeners an obstacle or a stronghold that you were able to overcome, through your faith in God. How did God pull you through it, and what did He do? Do you mind sharing a story with us today?
Not at all. Not at all. I've had a lot of loss and a lot of trauma. And through my journey, God has got my attention by breaking a couple branches. And when I didn't listen, He broke another branch. And then when I didn't listen, He pulled out the roots. And He helped me get over bitterness,
Mm,
forgiveness. And He turned it around. You know, uh, He showed me that to have compassion.
mm,
not to keep the unforgiveness because it was hurting me. So I learned to give it to God. I surrendered.
mm,
I
mhm,
told God, I can't do this. I apologized and I let it go.
mm,
And me and Mama, we didn't speak for many years because my brother was born and died on my birthday. But at the end, we had a beautiful relationship.
mm,
You know, I got to see her one last time when I went out to Branson, Missouri for an event. So it was like a win-win. I got to meet my friends around the world. I got to see Mama, and that broke me in a million pieces when she died. I didn't know what to do. I fell apart.
mm.
And God said, you got to get up. You got to pick up that cross and walk and know that I'm with you. And your mom's with you. And a friend, Jessie Jenkins, said to me one time, she said, grieve as long as you have to,
Mhm,
but rejoice in who they were and how
mm,
they made you feel and the memories you had. And I picked up my cross and I've walked since that day.
mm,
I felt God, I believe his promises when we see the rainbow of the covenant. Promises that someday we're going to see them again. And I believe that.
yeah,
I believe that in my heart. I'm going to see mom. I'm going to see my brother. I'm going to see all the loved ones that I miss. I believe that.
yeah. That's really interesting. Um, I was look when I was looking through your social media, I realized that you and I share a birthday month
You
as
do?
well. Yeah, we're both in February. I'm February 5th, and yours is the 26th, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we
How
have so
cool
much in
is that?
common.
We do our stories. Oh,
Hmm.
wow. That's amazing how God brought us together. I'm very grateful.
Yeah. So when you got to when what did you when did you realize that you were at your darkest point after um going through that brokenness and being just crushed after losing your mom? What point did you go, okay, I'm at rock bottom. I've gotta do something here, or this is going to destroy me. I mean, because I know that I it took me a minute. It wasn't overnight, and I still grieve my mom like you do. And hearing your story is very touching, because it's so relatable to my story. But I've had regrets, I've had guilt, I've had shame, I've had all of the things I wish I could have done better to keep her here, but when she was gone and gone for good, I was like, it devastated me to no end. And I went to a really ugly place for a little while. And a lot of people didn't like me for a little while because I just was so, like you said, bitter, and I was angry with God over it. And it's really hard to be, angry at somebody. Um, for taking somebody away from you. So at what point did you realize, I can't be angry at God anymore. I've got to step up, and I actually need to lean on God instead of be angry because he's the one who's going to actually pull me through this.
Yeah, I was laying on the couch and I wanted to die. I laid on the couch for weeks. Yeah, and it got to be a couple months, and then another month. And I said,
Mm,
I got two kids,
mm, mm,
and God's got me, and I can do this. I'm
mhm,
going to pick up my cross and I'm going to walk, and I'm going to share the gifts that God got me. I'm going to share how He made me overcome these things, and
mhm,
how if I can do it, you can do it.
mm,
Is it easy? Absolutely not. Doing the inside work is the hardest thing you'll ever do.
mhm,
You have to leave people, places, and things, but then God will replace them with good things,
mhm,
good people. And yeah, it took my son Zachary to say, "This ain't my mom. This
mhm,
ain't my mom," and that hit me hard. He said, "What am I gonna do, Mom, without you? If you're not here." And I got up, I turned on 91.1, and I prayed. I said, God, help me, please. Can't do this. And it's been a long journey. Yeah, it's been a long journey, the last couple years, but every day it gets easier.
Yeah.
Every day I plug into my call. Every day I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm plugging into the community more. I'm sharing more of myself.
Mm,
In the space, maybe I can help one person. My intention is if I could just help one person, just getting through being stuck in their head with that stinking thinking.
mm-hmm.
You- That's, or if I can help one person online, or if I can help one person with their health, anything, one person a day, I'll be grateful.
That's really
Sometimes,
good.
yeah, I've had someone say, I listened to your video, you turned my day around, and I'm like, thank you, Father. That's soul pay, If somebody's listening and I made them smile or I turned their day around, I'm very grateful.
Hmm.
Very grateful.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think that when we when we take our burdens and we throw them in the trash, and then, like you said, pick up our cross, and because God wants to walk us through. He has such a good purpose for our life, but we get stuck in these strongholds, and they take us captive, and we have no freedom. And God doesn't want us walking in that. He doesn't want us trapped. He doesn't want us stuck. He wants us walking in the freedom that He's already given us. Jesus died for our freedom, like we talked about, like your post that I saw. I loved that post. Freedom wasn't free; it was sacrificed, and Jesus made that sacrifice. And when we start thinking about those things, um, what God has done for us, I went from being mad to being thankful that me and my mom, we reunited together. We had 3 years of mother-daughter time together that we didn't have before, where it was just chaotic all the time, fighting all the time, hating all the time. It was nonsense. And then, um, we had a few good blowouts, where we just yelled it all out, cried it all out, screamed it all out, and then we hugged it all out. And then we
Right.
went to church and prayed it all out because God took us to church and we went and prayed together and worshiped together, and we still had our moments where we fought, because she's still her and I'm still me, and we're both mules and we're stubborn and we both have our
Right.
ways. And I just got to a point in my life that my tolerance was only going to put up with so much, and I didn't have to put up with certain things. So we would fight, and some people would be like, "God, you two drive me nuts. How do you guys live in the same house?" I said, well, "We don't do this every day. It's just, we don't do this every day." I go, "But we have to get it out of our system once in a while."
Right.
But I mean, but I wouldn't let nobody else take care of her because nobody could take care of her the way I could. And I
That's
knew I
right.
knew everything about her inside and out. Even when she went to the nursing home and was in rehab, I said, I would walk in and I'd be like, "I don't know what medication you got her on, but get her off from it. It's not working." And they'd be like, "How do you know?" By looking at her. And I said, "Because that's how well I know her." And I was just, finally just would take her out of the nursing home and take her home. I broke her out of a nursing home out the back door one time. I did. I walked in that nursing home that her doctor put her in, and I said, "She is not staying here." And I was waiting for the nurse, and I told my son, my son and my daughter were with me, and it was right around the corner from where she lived. I said, "Go to grandma's house and get her electric wheelchair and drive it over here. Meet me at the back door." And we broke her out.
Oh, that is so cool.
So we took such good care of my mom, even though her and I fought all the time. And yeah, I'm like you. It's almost been 7 years. I don't know what your death anniversary is for your mom. When was that for you?
I think it was, you know what, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was like in June. I
Okay.
think June. And my brother took care of my mom. So, you know, it was hard for me because I was in Rhode Island and she was in Missouri. So we could just talk on the phone, but I looked forward to that every day.
Hmm.
So didn't she. And that brought us so close. Like God brought us back together again with the word of God. And I got over that anger and I got over that bitterness and I replaced it with gratitude. I just replaced everything with gratitude. I said, Father, thank you for the stuff that's ugly. Thank you for it's either a lesson or a blessing. You're trying to teach me something here, God. And, when I don't listen, you're getting my attention. And I'm listening now. I'm
Mm,
listening. So your will, not mine. And I was blessed to go to Missouri. And I was blessed to see Mama again. And I was blessed to talk to her. But it was very short. But
mhm.
every day she's with me. Even though I can't see her, her spirit lives in me.
Yeah.
I keep pictures of people that have passed that I love around me because they live in my heart.
Mhm.
They do. They're always with me. They're
Mhm.
guiding me. They're saying, don't quit. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Get up, and that's what it is. It's about getting up and
Yeah.
picking up your cross and walking and stop the party. You can't be pitiful and powerful at the same time.
Nope,
That's
you
what God
can't.
said to me. He said, I got a plan for you, and you ain't going to get there laying on this couch. So you
Yep.
need to get up, you need to wipe your eyes, and you need to step forward every day. And don't look back, he said. Don't look back. Keep your eyes on me. And I always remember that somebody said to me one day, don't go to the phone, go to the throne. And I've done that ever since. And everything I've taken to prayer,
Mm,
everything I take to prayer every day.
that's
Because
really
he,
good advice, actually. That's great advice. I think it's important that we remember that no matter what, we're always going to have a part of them with us, you know. And me and my daughter, we laugh, and she's so funny. We have so many comical stories. I mean, we're nuts. Our family's just nuts. But my mom used to sing this song all the time. I think Willie Nelson sang it. Um, I'm trying to think of what it's called. And my daughter thought my mom made it up. She just thought she made because she never heard it on the radio or nothing. She just heard my mom singing it all the time around her, you know. And one day she was in the car or somewhere and she heard the song on the radio and she calls me up and she said, "Are you kidding? This is a real song?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I thought Grandma made that stupid song up, you know."
oh, that
And
is
she goes, "She
funny.
sang that song all the time." And and we just got to cracking up. So her anniversary, her death anniversary was coming up, and then her birthday was coming up, and we always do stuff around that for her. But we always talk about that. So now we play songs that she used to listen to, and some of them are, she really liked them, but we thought they were ridiculous. But I'm sure she didn't like all of our music choices either,
Right,
growing up.
right.
So we could relate with it, but we would just laugh at it, and some of the artists that she liked, and my daughter's like, "I've never even heard of that person ever. Who is that?" It was Freddie Fender.
Ah,
And that song "Wasted Days and Wasted Nights." My mom loved that song.
yeah, yeah.
And well, she loved music anyway. So before she died, I took her to see Crystal Gayle. She got to meet her. And we got
Nice.
to meet Cheryl Lynn, her sister. And I did not know that Loretta Lynn, Cheryl Lynn, and Crystal Gayle were all sisters. I had no idea. And I
Wow.
got up there and I go, "Mom, that lady looks like Loretta Lynn." And it was Cheryl Lynn, the middle sister.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, yeah, that's Loretta Lynn's sister." And I go, "I thought that was Crystal Gale's sister." She goes, "They're all sisters." And I said, "All this time I didn't know." I didn't know this. But I took her up there to meet Crystal Gale, and they have security around her because people pull her hair because her hair is so beautiful, clear to the floor. And so
Yeah.
my mom just went up there and she, was able to meet her and get her signature and all of that. So, I mean, I had some really good moments with my mom, but I miss them. And I know that when we moved here to Idaho from California, I had plans. Like my daughter was going to take her to Ireland. We were working on getting her passport. She was going to take her there, and because my mom really wanted to go to Ireland. We're like, okay. My daughter's like, I want to go to Ireland too. So we were going to take this trip, and we had so many things planned out for her, and then she just didn't wake up one morning and I mean, I about lost my mind. I mean, I about literally lost my mind when that happened. I told the paramedic that he'd better get down there and bring her back because I wasn't having it. I was so upset. Yeah,
I
he's like,
wasn't having
I
it.
can't do that. Yeah,
I'm
I
not
was
having
like, I was a
I
train
know.
wreck. Oh, it was so bad. My daughter was like, I have never seen you like this before. And she was at work, and when I called her, she goes, I didn't even know who you were on the phone when you called. And she goes, all I knew is when I hung up, I had to get home now. And she came running home, and thank goodness my daughter got me through it, because if it wouldn't have been for her, I don't know if I'd even be here. I honestly don't know that I'd be alive, because I contemplated my own life a few times, and with having so much regret, and just being so frustrated over the whole thing. And my daughter was so good with me. She just put up with me, and put up with me. and
Right,
and every year on her death anniversary, I would have a really good cry. I would just cry it out, and then after I'd cry it out, I'd wipe my tears away and say, Mom, I love you and I miss you, and then get up the next day and keep on going, because I had to quit. I had to quit. It was destroying me. And so I can totally relate with what you're saying, because that brokenness, nobody can fix that but God. There is no one that can fix it, because they're not coming back, and that poor paramedic, I'm like, you get down there and you bring her back. Like, he's like, if I
right,
could, honey, I would, you know?
right, right,
I mean,
right,
I was just
right.
devastated. So it was such a shock for her to leave it, and she was only 73. And I was like, she's too young, and we had all these plans, God, like, and we were still working out our new bond that we had, and I was really, really beside myself, and just went to a really dark place, and I literally had to sit at Jesus's feet for 3 years, and just get into ministry, and dive into His Word, and figure out why it is that He would take my mom away from me. I really had to go there. And Job was a huge story for me. I love the book of Job, because God doesn't even explain to Job why he did what he did with Job, because he says, I don't have to. I'm the God of this universe. I do not owe you an explanation. Just like we tell our kids, I don't have to explain myself to you. We're his
Right.
children. We're God's children. He doesn't have to give us an explanation. Although we feel like we need to be it, that justification. He's like, I don't have to give it. You're going to get through this, I promise. And
Right.
I had to literally work that out and lean on those promises and believe in it and have faith in it to get myself back, or I was going to be a goner. The enemy was
Yeah.
about to win, and I was like, I'm not going to let the enemy win today. So, yeah, so
Same
I
here.
can totally relate with kind of what you've gone through, and whatnot. And it's exciting that, you have a good relationship with your kids. And it's crazy when we think about what we would have done to ourselves, but thinking, man, we have kids to think about. Because sometimes we get in that, like you said, that pity party, poor me, selfish moment. We become the victim instead of becoming victorious. And sometimes you have to go through that and get over that hurdle before God can actually do a work in you. A
Right.
lot of stuff manifested for me that I didn't even know I had going on with me until my mom died. All this stuff came to the surface. And I had some really deep, ugly roots that really needed to go. So,
That's the same thing that happened to me when my mom died. I broke in a million pieces. But I am so grateful for the Word of God.
yeah,
I
it's
am.
exciting.
I am so grateful for the Word of God because it saved me, it helped me so much. And I stand on his promises, you know.
Mhm.
He'll never leave us nor forsake us.
Mhm.
Promises.
It's a
And I
promise.
believe that, I stand on his promises.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that, we need to be mindful. God designed us with an assignment and a purpose, and we allow sometimes these strongholds to hold us back. And we can't move forward. Like you said, you were so scared to come on today, and you're like, I've never done a podcast, and you're just kind of like, I just have to do it. I just have to do it. It's going to be okay.
Right.
And it is okay. We're just talking. We're just talking about life, and we're talking about some things that we've been through. And you know what? Sometimes when you share your testimony, it helps other people. It
Yeah.
really does. It lets them know that, you know what? I have broken pieces in me too. And if they got through it, I can get through it. You know,
Correct.
helps
Correct.
it helps strengthen people. We strengthen in numbers, sometimes. So I think that, that's why I like this podcast so much, is because I feel like it's so uplifting when we share our stories, and then people are like, oh man, like you said in the beginning, with the community, and you're not alone. You're
You're
not
not.
alone in it. And I think
Yes.
that's wonderful. I'm excited to check it out. I mean, you have piqued my curiosity, and I can't wait to find out more about it. I'm going to look into all of that, and I definitely am going to share a lot of that with our listeners. So, but I have a question for you before we start wrapping up here. If there was one piece of advice you could give to our listeners um, about overcoming that broken place in your life, what would you say to them to encourage them?
Well, I would tell my listeners today that don't ever let any stronghold hold you back. Push through it. And remember this, picture this, how Superman saves Lois Lane, right? He catches her when she's fallen. He does the same thing for us. He catches us,
Mm-hmm.
loves us. He knows every hair on our head. And,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to provide for us. I really believe that. And as always, do something good for somebody else in the space of knowing they can't repay you.
That's really good. That's really awesome, actually. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own pity parties that we forget other people. And when you start praying for other people, your problems don't seem to be as big. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes. Right. If we all took our problems, we all threw them in a basket, we take our own back. Because there's always somebody
Yeah,
out there with bigger problems. So be grateful for your problems because they're teaching you something in the process.
yeah, yeah. God doesn't promise that we wouldn't have trials and tribulations. He just said he promises to get you through them. And
Correct.
so we have to lean on him and trust that he's going to work all things out for our good because that's what his word says. And it doesn't say that he wants us to be miserable and
Right.
and live in tragedy and sometimes tragic things happen, but that doesn't mean we have to stay in that tragic situation. We do not have to live in the trauma that we went through. We don't have to continue to dwell in the dark places. We can overcome that. I don't know. Do you know who Mandisa is? She's a
No,
singer, Christian singer. Okay, she just passed away. I've went to four of her concerts, and she sings this song called "Overcomer," and I love it. She sings with Toby Mac too, but she just passed away a couple years ago. I already miss her a lot. I've actually met her. I took my foster kids to one of her concerts, and we got to meet her. But wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady. But the song "Overcomer" teaches me that um, we can't get anywhere unless we overcome anywhere. You know, and it doesn't look good on us, by the way. We we may think it
right,
does.
right,
It
right,
really doesn't look attractive.
right,
There's
right,
nothing
right.
about a kid throwing a tantrum in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the store, and you're like, what is up with that?
I
Well,
got
as adults,
yeah.
we do that.
Right, we do. We do.
Yeah. So I think that I think about her song and her music, and I listen to it a lot because I miss it. But um, it keeps my mindset focused on um, not, like you said, not looking back, pulling off the rearview mirror, leave the past in the past, think about the good, not the bad. And that's how you overcome it. You get down to the root of the problem, you start digging it up, and then you go, okay, this is what I need to do to conquer this. And you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes we just sit around and feel sorry for ourselves because we think we are alone. God's never going to leave us alone. He's
That's
going to
right.
put the right people in our path, I think. So I think it's exciting when we think about all of the stuff that God does. We just don't pay attention to it, you know? We just open our eyes a little bit wider, we could just see a little bit more, you know?
Right. That's so true. There's so much to be grateful for. Really, there's so much to be grateful for.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna start wrapping up, but I just wanted to say it has been such a pleasure just meeting you and talking to you, and I've really enjoyed your time and your company today, and I can't wait to get to know you more. I can't wait to go in and learn more about your online business and your app and that blood test. You got to send me all that. I'm gonna share this, with our listeners. So I'm
Okay.
gonna share all of this good stuff, even your book. I wanna look into that and whatnot. And I'm going to look up a couple of these people that we talked about before we got on here. Paul Hutchinson and, oh, that one book, Matthew
Watch.
Watkins.
The
Yeah, The
Dream
Dream Giver.
Giver. Oh,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna read that because that book will set your soul on fire.
Mm,
It's that good because it's about you.
mm.
It's about the stronghold. It's about the giants you're going to face, and it's about overcoming those giants and trusting God. It's just amazing. Suggest it to
Yes, thank
everybody.
you for sharing that with me. I will definitely look into that and what have you. But I really have enjoyed our time today. And for our listeners out there, if you want to know more about online business, this is your go-to person. Get a hold of Wanda and be like, hey, what do I do? Where do I start? How do I get this ball rolling? She will help you and take you by the hand and just kind of lead you and guide you and show you. And if you're wanting to venture out in that area, you're not alone. She's going to help you. She's going to give you all the connections. She likes to connect people with where they need to be, and I can see and tell that already with her. Um, just with the information she's shared today, even on this podcast, it's been wonderful. And yeah, look into the app because I think that would be really awesome for Wanda as well. And also check out her book. Go check it out. It's called Blooming Within, and it sounds like a great book to read. And we want to know more about, who you are and what's inside of you. And that's one way to do it. Let's, figure out who you are. So, on this episode today with Crushing Strongholds, if you need prayer for anything, if you need help with overcoming an obstacle of your own, a stronghold that's keeping you in bondage or stuck, reach out to me at crushingstrongholds.com because I want to help you. I want to show you, guide you. You get a free clarity call in there. There's personal coaching one-on-one, there's group coaching, there's even a power hour where you just get on there and you just get a whole power hour talk with me. And trust me, it can get powerful because I want things to break off from people. I love to see people walk in freedom and not walk, held to the bondages of our strongholds because that was me. That was a really ugly place for me. And God set me free, and I just want to see everyone else be free. So I just want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you for listening. And with that, Wanda, thank you for being here
Thank you. I
very much.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I will share all of your information with our listeners in our show notes, and they can like and comment through Facebook or YouTube or on any other platform. We are on Spotify and iHeartRadio, so there's a lot of different places that you will find us and be able to listen to us or watch this video. So y'all take care, and I hope you have a great and blessed day.